the Rangers Journal now.
Evening everybody and welcome back to Rangers Journal. I'm your host Scott Mackay, and officially I suppose welcome to silly season. It's well and truly kicked off at Ibrox in terms of transfers, well, outgoings anyway. First of all, I'm joined by my class panel tonight. Stevie, how you doing, mate?
Good evening, mate. I'm good, thanks for having me.
Aye, no problem at all. Deano, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. How you getting on?
Aye, not bad. Been my first person already, eh? What a start of the podcast. Right, so some kind of breaking news about half an hour ago about Yanis Hadji. He's come out, he's put a bit of, I suppose, a statement out on Twitter. Instagram, sorry. He's basically says he's saying he's wanting to stay. That's what I've took for it anyway. Obviously, we know who in the group chat earlier on, somebody's told us that he's back training with the first team now as well. Stevie, what's your take on it?
I mean, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely delighted to read that. I was like, wow, that's great news for me. Always been a massive Yanis Hadji fan. I think he's a tremendous player. You saw the Euros, how good he was, how good he can be at that level. So I think obviously we understand that, it's a wages thing. But for the statement he's put out, it's almost like he's saying, right, I'm willing to maybe like renegotiate, maybe look at the wage, whatever. Just to get back in the team because he obviously wants to play. He's been away, last year. And he's probably realised I'm not going to get a club like Rangers. So he's trying to make a go at it. So to me, he might still get sold. You never know. But to me, at least it shows he's willing to graft. I'm delighted with that. Hopefully he stays.
What's your take on it, mate?
I never saw the statement as I was driving, but I'm a massive Hadji fanboy. So I think we spoke about Hadji on a pod during the season, Scotty, and we talked about him being able to play under Clement's style, and the sort of general consensus within the comments and a lot of people is he's too slow. And I says, well, if you've got fast players in and around him, his pace, in my opinion, doesn't really become an issue as he's fast up there.
Mm-hmm.
So that that speaks volumes for me, and that's something that we're severely lacking that we'll also touch upon in this pod tonight.
Aye, definitely. And the news that he's back training with first team, I suppose, is really, really good as well. It shows there might actually be a willingness from the manager to play him, or maybe I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, but I want Hadji to stay, and it looks as if that could potentially be happening now. Whether it's due to lack of interest or they're getting around a negotiating table, like Hadji says on Insta, then hopefully it's going to signal a kind of change in approach for Philippe Clement. Stevie, if Hadji's going to stay, where does it fit in for you?
Number 10, playing right behind the striker for me. As Dean's just said, he's spot on there, Dean. But he's got it up here, and he really does. He sees the game before pretty much anybody else in that Rangers squad sees it. So he doesn't need to be blessed with great pace when you've got great ability and vision, and he's got that speed of thought, and that to me would make him the perfect number 10. I would drop Lawrence and I would play Hadji. There's enough legs behind him with Sterling, Barron, Diamande. To me, there's enough supporting him to allow him to have. I'm not saying he's not going to work. He's still going to work hard to be in the team, but at the same time, how many assists will he have? How many chances will he create? How many goals will he get? To me, it's a no-brainer. He's a genuinely, he's a player of real pedigree. We should use him. I'm not saying throw him in at the weekend, but the fact that if he was to come back in, even at the squad on the bench, that's a huge boost. It's a new signing because he's not played for us for a year and a half.
Aye,
so, yeah,
definitely.
Number 10, get him in there.
100%. It can play across the front three as well, which is a bit of a deal breaker for me. I would rather see Yanis Hadji line up on the left hand side or right hand side instead of Scott Wright. It's an immediate upgrade right away. Yeah. Dean, we've just had a kind of question in for Scott Hammond there. He's saying, is it the board that come on that want rid of Hadji now? Pressers would tell you, managers tell Hadji that he's not in the plans. but is that him protecting the board?
Well, Clement was clearly given a remit when he came in to reduce the wage bill, and Hadji getting an increase of, I don't know, what's it, around about 10 grand a week or something like that, might not have been in his remit, so that decision might have been out of his hands initially. So we can all speculate and stuff. We don't actually really know the truth, but from, you kind of take a wee bit of perspective on things. Clement wants to play with a number 10, and buying a number 10 is going to cost. We don't have money. We're trying to reduce the wage bill. We've already got Hadji. So, questions have to be asked and decisions have to be made. And if that means that Hadji's going to be coming in and he's getting an increase in a wage, but that's, potentially going to be round about the same amount of money we'd probably have to play for a starting number 10 anyway. You're probably looking at the 25, 30 grand bracket, in my opinion, to pay for a player of that calibre to come in and be our number one starting number 10. So, I kind of, you've got to weigh up the options here, and we're running towards the end of the transfer window, and maybe the targets that we're on, that we're wanting's out of our reach and things like that. So there's loads of mitigating factors for me, I think.
Can I just come on there really quickly?
Of course you can, Stevie.
I didn't, again, Deano, spot on. I didn't think we can get a player of Hadji's pedigree to come to Rangers now. He's sitting there, we've got him. We're not going to get a guy who started at the Euros at that level. So
He's the only player in the squad that represented Rangers at the Euros.
Aye. He did really well. He played great.
Right, so I'm going to read out his Instagram post. Yanis Hadji himself has come out and says, I've been aware of the noise and speculation regarding my situation, my role and my contract at the club. I have loved playing for Rangers and the Ibrox fans since the moment I got here. I want to make it clear, I've never once asked to leave this football club. I will always make myself available, and there's always a way to navigate around any situation if there's a will on both sides, and that was communicated officially weeks ago by me and my team. I'm here, willing and Rangers ready to help, work and fight hard for the club, team and manager. So, obviously going with the news that we got in the chat that he's back training with the first team, that signifies to me that everybody is hopefully willing to get around the table and fix this out.
Aye.
That brings me on to my next bit of news that's been broke today about Scott Wright potentially on his way down to Birmingham. Stevie, Scott Wright hits a bracket of Connor Goldson, Borna Barisic, John Lundstrom, Glenn Kamara, but to name a few who stayed a year too long. What's your take on it?
It probably is the right time for Scott Wright to move on. I'm certainly no his biggest critic. I've appreciated his contribution. He's Mr. Hampden. Whenever we've done well at Hampden, he's been a guy to kind of turn up. So I think he's done well. But yeah, I think it's a decent move for the lad. Birmingham's obviously got a bit of money behind them. League Two, I think they'll probably get out of that division this year. So yeah, to me it makes sense. Obviously losing a Scott isn't ideal, so we need to replace that pretty rapidly. But yeah, it kind of, it makes sense. Like you're saying there, Hadji over Scott Wright. I mean, who are you going to choose? That's a no-brainer.
Aye, there's hundreds of various positions that Hadji could come in and fix within a squad just now. And I'm really wanting to batter that kind of point in the night, because I think it's important that we've got a guy of this quality. Now, fair enough, but maybe not seen him enough since he's come back for his injury. I think his last appearance was at Hibs, am I right? And he scored that much. There's a lot of kind of murmurs about him being slower than he already was, and blah 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 blah. But the boy can pick a pass, and he's got a good set of 2 feet on him. So
yeah,
do you know where you are?
Set pieces is great as well.
Go, Stevie.
I was going to say set pieces. His delivery is excellent. That's another string to his bow.
Exactly. Do you know where you are on Scott Wright?
Thanks very much for your time. See you later. Next.
Mate. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect, mate. I couldn't have said it better myself. And the next guy that I kind of, in terms of outgoings that are, in fact, no, I'm just going to get tore into him, is this man here, Todd Cantwell. Now, bringing back Hadji again, we all know, said person in the chat says that when he's trained with the B team, he's set an example, he's been professional, he's been X, Y, and Z. Todd Cantwell's not even training with the B team anymore. So, Stevie, what does that tell you about where you at on Todd Cantwell just now? Do you think there's a player, think we could, if he is here after the window, that will try and revive him, or would you just say, I'd let him go on a free, if I'm being honest?
I mean, kind of to repeat what Deano's just said there, it's just get him out the door, get him going. I mean, he has got talent, there's no question about that. We've seen it in wee flashes, but never on a consistent basis. I've been quite consistent on my views on him. I never saw him play 3 good games in a row for Rangers. It was always flash in the pan here, and that was about it. And then he'd let you down. I don't know. To me, he just never struck me as the type of guy that we want. And if that's right about the B team, he's obviously not got a great attitude. But I think for him, he's the type of player who'll probably go back to England and do quite well. You know, there's just a few players that just don't make it at Rangers for whatever reason, mentality. I think it's mainly about their attitude. He's obviously got talent, but yeah, I mean, he's going to go this week. I've absolutely no doubt about that. The club will be desperate to get him off the wage bill, and I'm sure that will happen. Blackburn seems quite likely. Wish him all the best, but yeah, I'll be glad to see him go. And, you know, put that wage towards Hadji or whatever. Just use that to your advantage.
Definitely. Brycey, thanks for coming to YouTube member, mate. I think Doug's working on some membership videos in the background, so stay tuned for that. Some kind of deep dives on some players and combinations in the park and stuff like that. It's a wee bit of tactical, but there's also a wee bit of opinion stuff. There's also articles going up on the YouTube website, YouTube channel every other day, I would say just now. The guys are really churning out of content with the player ratings done by Gary on Monday. Dave's wrote a piece on the defence that will be getting released in the morning. So there's hundreds going on. Deano, where you at with Todd Cantwell now? He put a final nail in the coffin when he called a Rangers fan a belly end on Instagram for me. I
mean, I'm actually just really bored of it. I just want the saga to end. That's how it seems to me. It's just a saga. It's, do you know, like you put in the chat earlier on that he was getting, you know, Norwich would get 30, 40 million for him. Do you know, which obviously is the inflation of the EPL, but you know, so he was obviously good enough to be in a conversation for getting a reasonably decent transfer fee, and he just hasn't brought that to Rangers. As Stevie said there, I mean, like 3 games in a row, you know, like maybe he played 2 games in a row, but you weren't getting 2 games, then 1 crap game, then 2. It's like 2 games, and maybe 8 games later he had another game or 2 games. It was just inconsistent. He decided to, you know, vent his emotions on Instagram, and you're of a generation of us 3. It's a massive. It's just
Can't stand that, man.
I see. So when you're like, obviously the younger generation is all in, but us Rangers fans and older, they just can't be arsed with that type of behaviour, couldn't they? So, and you know, like sort of touching on Hadji there, and I said this in a group chat in a roundabout way, it actually would have been a really good education for the young players to see Hadji carry himself.
Yeah,
and it's actually quite valuable for their own development to actually see that, and then see what not to be with Todd. It's actually maybe been a good thing for the younger players at the squad, because as somebody said earlier on, there's not enough of those players in and around Ibrox, and Hadji is one that, you know, stood tall the day that Gerrard signed him on loan. So Todd, I hope we can at least recoup the small fee that we paid for him, which is quite sad given he was 30-40 million pound player for Norwich a few years back. So I just want the saga to end, mate, and see you later. Thanks very much, and next.
That's a great point, by the way, about the contrast between Hadji and Cantwell. I mean, that shows real standards of professionalism, which Rangers want, and it shows a leader as well. But to me, the worst thing about Cantwell, see the social media. I get we're on social media and this is what we're promoting, this is what we do. But for a football player, didn't be arguing with fans. I mean, how can you focus on your career, on your job, if you're on Instagram arguing with football fans? I mean, that's ridiculous. You've lost your focus straight away. Nah.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Aye, definitely, boys. So, just I've decided to bring up this question. Would you say Hadji's a better player now than when he struggled to command a place pre-injury? Or does this say everything in the regress of our squad just now? Right now, See if I look at Hadji pre-injury, he was playing with players like Joe Aribo, Scott Wright, to name one. I'm not really happy I've been mentioning, but still, Scott Wright was there. He was a right wing option. Ryan Kent. Who else was there, lads?
Camara.
Glenn Kamara.
Yeah.
Stephen Davis.
Stephen Davis. So the level of that squad is better than the level of squad we've got now. Right? That's not arguable. That's not an argument to me. Now, picks up this badge injury, says his true feelings at a press conference. Michael Beale pops him out to Alaves after giving him a super duper contract that we're stuck with now. Cheers, Mick. Then what do you call it? Then now he's back. He's in the B team, or he was in the B team, sorry. He's setting an example to young lads. He's been professional. He's impacting matches. And then you've got Todd Cantwell, who hasn't been seen for weeks on end. He's not anywhere near a club, apparently. So, just to answer your question, mate, I think there's a bit of a clanger for Hadji because we see the system come on playing. We see the number 10 role and the difficulties we've had at it in pre-season. The issues throughout the squad. He can play either flank. It's too good an option. He's willing to get round a table, like he says on Instagram, and Rangers just get it sorted. Just get the whole situation sorted. Unless a decent offer comes in and you can sell him. Evening, you, and good to see you, mate.
Sorry, Scott. Do we know when he actually released that statement? Do you know when Hadji released that statement? Was that just in the last...
It was about an hour ago, I think.
See, to me, it almost... I mean, I'm happy with it, but to me, it almost seems like he's putting it back on the club. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think it is resolved. I mean, it's great if he's back with the first team, but to me, it's like, that's no over. Like, he's no back in there yet. He's training the first team, but there's still something to resolve. I mean, he was obviously willing. So to me, he's put it back on the club, back on the board to say, let's sort this out. So I think it's over to them now. I could be wrong, but that's just how I'm reading that.
Aye, exactly. And you know what? There's got to be an element of where Clement comes in and says he needs to say whether this is him or if he thinks it's a good player. But you can't not be impressed with the guy who he's applied himself in a different squad, and he'll have had them reports back. And he's got to have a look at what's in front of him as well at some point, surely, and go, hey, I can fit him in somewhere because he's versatile. Do you know what I mean? Deano, where you at on it?
I just, same as you guys, pretty much. I've really just wanted to... I think for him to come in and play is going to benefit both, because he is as a player that, you know, didn't necessarily say that he was, you know, coming to Rangers, big club, great move for his career for him to, you know, go and play at a higher level. But that was pretty much why he signed for us, and, you know, we were all over it, weren't we? And then he got injured, then his loan, things like that didn't work out for him, so his value's somewhat diminished. And when that link came up with Rapid Bucharest, I first thought to myself, there's no way on earth he's going to go for a club of Rangers stature to a club of their stature. His next move is going to be to a club that's of a high stature, and I don't think he's able to get that sort of attraction from any other club at this moment in time because of his lack of playing time at a high level. So coming back to Rangers and playing for Rangers is only going to make people come and see him again, and then be beneficial for his next move. So, makes sense all around. And we need somebody to come in and for that 10 spot. And aye.
Can I just come in there? William 01 in the comments has basically came out and said that Clement's already came out and said he's knowing the plans, and he's right. He did say that a couple of weeks ago. So this is going to represent a bit of a U-turn for Clement, but I don't think anybody, well, certainly not on the panel, you know, it's fine to change your mind if they can arrange, if they can come to an agreement with his contract. He's quality, so get him in there. Fair enough, Clement maybe did say that, but if things change, again, there's nothing wrong with changing your mind when there's a player of that quality available.
As I said, he was given a remit, and he's been told potentially from the board, and so he's already said, well, he's not in the plans because of X, Y, and Z. So you don't know the reasons why he's saying that he's not in his plans. So And I mean, if he's able to hold his hands up and say, "Look, I want him in the team," then is any Rangers fan really going to object to that fact? Is any Rangers fan really going to be bothered their arse if he's going to turn and say that he wants him in the team? No.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see what Clement's going to say at his press conference on Friday about it, because Hadji has come out and he's basically, like you said, Stevie, he's put the ball very much in Rangers' court now. And it'll be interesting to see. Here's a question for comments, actually, instead of us answering it. If Hadji's still here after the transfer deadline is gone, if he's still at Rangers, what do you do with him? Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you, you bloody play him because he's a good player. It's as easy as that. And I think this is maybe in preparation of the transfer deadline passing, because he knows there's maybe no a move that he wants or blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I don't think that statement tonight is a bad reflection on Yanis Hadji. Bryce's come in the comments. I really don't. I think it's him being honest and trying to put the fans in the loop. And it's bad when a player needs to do that instead of a club.
Aye, he's shown a willingness. He's obviously desperate to play, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a negative release. I don't think it's quite a positive thing for him to say.
Aye, I know. The chat's still pretty split on it in terms of whether they actually want him or not. Geraldo says, he basically says a wage increase can be discussed. Exactly. I mean, how much more an attitude do you want for somebody? Do you know what I mean? Like, if he's going to be here after the transfer window, then fix it and see if he's not on any plans. The manager's probably going to need to play him anyway, because we're going to be. I don't want this to sound really bad, right? But is he a better option out right than Ross McCausland? That's harsh. It's extremely harsh, but he is.
I mean, right now I wouldn't drop McCausland because he's progressing really well. He's
100%. Aye, 100%. I'm just trying to put a different kind of spin on it. Do you know what I mean?
That would be good competition, though. You know what I mean? That might push him on. That might make him a better player. So,
but
use him.
He's far too an expensive B team player, as far as I'm concerned. That's just
B team manager.
Right. Anyway, let's go into the action. I feel as if this has turned into a Hadji podcast, man. Right. I'm trying to find the agenda I sent to you guys earlier on. My heat's up my back end. So, Alec Lowry, Leon King. There is actually supposed interest in King's got a few offers on the table in Salford. One of them. Alec Lowry's got one as well. For Carlisle and various options. Steve, it makes sense to move his boys on, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Salford would be a cracking move for that lad. Obviously, you want these guys to make it at Rangers, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I'm particularly gutted about Lowry. We've discussed him before. I mean, what a talent. But for whatever reason, it doesn't look like it's going to happen at Ibrox for him. So, yeah, makes sense. I mean, I think they're all out of contract next summer. That's right. So I can't see. I don't know if we'll send you contract.
I think Leon King will have another year.
Has he got 2 years? Right.
I think so. Aye.
Cool. So there's still a chance for him. But the other two, I guess Lowry is going to go, which is disappointing because even still in the flashes, like we see the highlights of the B team or whatever, he scored that cracking goal a couple of weeks ago, and he's a lot of talent. But several managers, he's the guy before Clement, and they just didn't seem to want to trust him, which is unfortunate.
I know. And Dean, in terms of, I had a point in my head there, but it's away now. In terms of Lowry and King, are you quite happy to see them two boys moved on?
To an extent, for the good of their careers, aye. You didn't want them gathering dust in the B team, and when they could be out there playing, it's their job. At the end of the day, they're professional football players who want to play football. Sitting on the bench or B team at Rangers it's a shame because they're obviously Scottish and they're homegrown and things like that. But the only thing I've got to think is that, so getting the days like Scott Wright, these players, then you've got to think how depleted is our European squad going to be? So we're going to be then making moves for Scottish players for the European squad. That's kind of where my thinking is with it. They're not going to be playing for us clearly, which is sad. So move on for them, but they're going to have to be replaced. So that kind of begs the question, what's going to happen next?
I know, mate. I know. Apparently Adam Devine was pulled out of the B-team squad today as well. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Could signal a move for him. Also, potentially leaves us a wee bit short at right back. I need to be honest. Stelling's not durable.
No.
Tavernier will not go on Tav, but he's there. And whether he's going to, I mean, he can pick up an injury. Look at the season Nathan Patterson had to fill in from the Europa League. I think Tav was out for a couple of months. You know what I mean? Do you think right back's a position we potentially need to strength if Adam Devine moves on? Stevie?
Aye, because like you say, we're light. I'm sure the manager is just thinking and praying that Sterling doesn't pick up an injury. Because, he's, we've all spoken about Sterling before, he can put him anywhere and he impresses. Like, I really love him in the midfield. To me, he's a midfield starter for Rangers every week for me. But needs must in situations. So as you say, Tav is there. Give him a wee bit of protection on Sunday. That's really the most important thing right now for Tav. And take it from there. But then Tav, the New Year's game, the start of the year, he was probably the best player. I mean, he got us back in the game, so he does always moments in these matches. So we just have to hope he's switched on. But aye, we could definitely do with beefing up the right back position.
I think quickly, just leaving transfers, I think if Sterling starts in the midfield, him and Tav were kind of changing positions quite regularly at the weekend. I think that's something we'll probably see on Sunday. I think it's something we need to see because we're making Dagan Maeda out to be Ronaldinho, and he's not. He's not anywhere near Ronaldinho. Do you know what I mean? But it has kind of got Tav's number in a way. Doug's probably going to come in and smash me with stats in that in a minute, but I just hope that happens because it's a way to nullify that threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. Deano, what about you? Do you think we need another right back?
Well, our only other option if Devine and King left, because remember King is a decent option for right back and fill in. So him and Devine leave. You've got Tav and Sterling. Reasons you just mentioned that's not feasible. Only other person you've then got to fill in at right back is Balogun, but he's done that like once or twice, and fair enough, it was against Celtic and he was man of the match. But we're not going to be able to rely on him because again he isn't durable to even probably play consistently one game a week at this moment in time. So we are incredibly short at options at right back. So again, it goes in with the list of other positions that need filled. So what does the manager do? Does he stick or twist?
I know.
That's it. That's it. Like, what's because he's going to obviously have a certain amount of money and this, that, and the next thing in certain positions. It is a really, it was a bit of a conundrum for him, I think, and it's going to be a gamble for whatever he does, and obviously hopes that it pays off.
I wonder, it just isn't in an emergency, Barron, the right back. Ryan Jack played there a couple of times, and he's got that engine, he's got that motor, and somebody could maybe cover. The midfield were actually pretty decent, but maybe Barron could fill in if that push.
I know, but I just feel that his talents are wasted.
Oh, I want him in the middle.
And I really want to see the best of him, and the best that you don't get the best of him sitting at right back. And
no,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Aye.
Right, so there was a link on follow today for a decent enough source. There's a boy Sarmiento, plays at Brighton. He's a winger, left winger, Ecuador. He has since there was supposed to be a Brighton podder coming on to tell us about this guy tonight, but a Brighton podder messaged me and says it looks like he's going to Burnley. But he's played for Brighton tonight and he's just scored. Whether he's going to Burnley or whether he's coming up with MA to Glasgow, I have no effing clue. Plays left wing though. Stevie, do you think that's no? See Rabbi Matondo the weekend. We've got Cortez coming back. Do you think left wing something we need?
I kind of hope no, but I mean, if Matondo's going, maybe that's the plan to get somebody like that in. Cortez looks class, but he's injured again, so I don't know how much we can rely on him. Hopefully he's back soon and actually gets a decent run. But you say Brighton, Ecuadorian winger, class. right away you're thinking their scouting system's second to none, so you know he's going to be like a really decent player. So if there's a chance we can get him in. Maybe he's versatile. Maybe he can play right wing.
Aye, I know. Deano, where you are on the left winger link? And let me ask you about Matondo. Did Matondo's performance on Saturday change anything for you?
No.
Your opinion on him?
No.
How no?
Just didn't. I've seen him do the goal that he scored against PSV, Dessers set him up. Clear ability. Saw snippets of him in Belgium, things like that. But in terms of being able to carry it out is somewhat small and on a consistent basis. Last season, I was shouting for the roofs. After these 2 World-Days back to back, I was give him a chance. Start him. He should be getting started, and he failed to deceive. So I think that doesn't make any difference to me. And I mean this in no disrespect, but to the team that's probably most likely going to get relegated this season, who are quite crap, who the week before played Spartans, who were no long before that a junior football team. Came what I mean? So I'm not going to be getting on the Matondo bandwagon at this moment in time. But if he's able to do that, which I don't think he is on a consistent basis, then I still think he should go and sign. And it makes, when I seen the link, I was like, okay, it makes sense. As Stevie said, well, we all want Cortez to be starting week in, week out, but he's not going to be able to do that. Let's be honest. Potential another Kamara Roof, but I think signing somebody to obviously replace Matondo is on the manager's agenda. Sorry, Stevie, what are you going to say there, mate?
No, when you said Kamara Roof, I was like, don't. Please God, no.
Stevie, right, you're on Matondo. I'm going to give you my opinion, right? I thought it was his best game on Saturday in a Rangers jersey. Fine. Ross County, we won 6-0. But see, Dessers' second goal, that's all Matondo. Getting to the byline, darts by players with pace, plays the ball back, good finish, sets up Matondo sets up Matondo, listen to me, Dafty. Matondo sets up Tom Lawrence for his goal and all. What was your take? Has it changed your mind on him at all?
Do you know what? I always want to believe in Rangers players, and I think under Clement, we've kind of discussed Dessers looking so much better this season. How much that's into the pre-season, the conditioning. Matondo looks better. I agree with Deano. He does flatter to deceive, but he done it the weekend. He's looking really confident. He's creating goals, great assists. If he can keep up that level of performance, if he does it again on Sunday and then the week after international break, then he's probably got a future. There's definitely talent there. He don't play at the clubs he's played at and no have natural talent, and the speed is tremendous. And maybe Clement's making a difference to him. He's had the full pre-season. He's starting to deliver. As Deano said, he scored those 2 Worldies. The one in the Old Firm game was just phenomenal. So he's got it in his locker, but he needs to just do it. Be a 7, 8 out of 10 every week. I'm not giving up on him. If he's there after Saturday, then I'll still be quite happy to have him.
Do you think Jeff Day's made an impact on his game?
Aye, I really like him. Yeah. I'm glad you brought him up. To me, he's just, some South Americans you get are just, they've got it, and he's got a bit of bite and a bit of needle. He's the type of guy you look at and you think, you probably get me in trouble on a night out. He's a great football player. You know what I mean? He's that type of guy. I think him, Barron, they've got the same kind of attitude. Totally different. One's Scottish, one's Brazilian, but to me, they've got the same kind of hunger and fight. I'm really impressed. I know there's so much negativity in the stadium, everything else, but to me, the signings Clement's made, they're all impressing me, and they've all got that kind of hunger. And Jeff is definitely doing that side. He makes it far more balanced. And like I say, a real threat.
I described it the other day. He's got an aura about him.
Aye.
The way that he plays, he's the confidence and
they believe in themselves. You can see it.
You can see that he just thinks that he's the best player on the park.
He's I belong at Rangers. And Barnes the same. It's as you hear him, it's like I belong here, and that's what we want to hear.
And it's only going to bring out the best in players round about them. And if Ridvan wasn't a sick note, then you would probably be seeing Jeff Day at left wing anyway. So the conversation for somebody else coming in probably wouldn't even be getting talked about, because Ridvan would be your starting left back, but because he's injury prone, as everybody else I see me saying, Jeffrey's going to be relied upon at left back, which obviously against the sort of teams of lesser quality, we're going to be able to see him going up and down the wing. And then, you know, like you were saying earlier on, Scotty, like what we had you being the inside number 10, that, with the pace of Jeffrey going down the left, that could even be a possibility for our left wing. So Clement's got, you know, potential there to mix things up. Because, I mean, when Jeffrey signed, folk are saying, oh, he was no left back, can he defend, blah, 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 blah. But the majority of games that we play, we're going to have the majority of the ball. And Jeffrey looks like he can he can definitely play football, put it that way.
I think you could put Jeffy at number 10 and be confident. You know what I mean? Give me a ball, I'll do it.
Aye.
He's Brazilian, he believes himself.
The only thing I'm sitting the fence with Jeffy about is because I had Stealthy this as Matt Ball in for an interview about him, and he says to me, he can be a wee bit of a loose cannon, he's a wee bit naive when it comes to officials. And we've seen it. I mean, I put it in the chat at night against Kiev at Hampden. I says, when you watch half time, he doesn't get sent off here. He's been told off by a referee a couple of times. No, that was not a red card, right? Any day of the week, but a referee came out the second half and he was looking to send him off. He was looking for it. So
he was. But so just for context, right? What what was the Cypriot pundit called again? I am still. So, like saying about him being obviously an issue with his yellow cards, red cards, this and the next thing, but like I like that in a player, and not that I'm comparing them. Like I want this, like I'm not comparing them, viewers, everybody, but Wayne Rooney was a bit of a hothead, and he got yellow carded, red carded, and he was still first name on the team sheet. Man United, Morelos. Do you know what I mean? So. Like, if he's got that in his game, then brilliant. Like, so what? But if he can bring other things to the club and make us, you know, win games, be successful, then I would really go to board that he likes to get booked and sent off. I'm no.
Yeah, controlled aggression. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. That's what it is, Stevie. Controlled aggression.
Right, Owen for Glasgow Rangers Nations come in with a question. Would we sell Ridvan in January once he's fit? Stevie, I'll get that question to you.
I mean, he's another player I really like when he's fit, but he's never fit since he signed. He's played a few games. He's really impressed, and he's out for 3 months. So I think potentially if we got an offer for like one of the teams back in Turkey, we might well look at that. I'd rather he was fit and could play the full season, but realistically, you know, if we get a decent offer, then I'm sure the club will look at it. It's a shame because him and Cortez were they were dovetailing so well when they played last season. There was like half a dozen games. So there's plenty of potential there, but I don't know who Jake's got.
I don't think he gets his jersey back after Jeffy. Jeffy keeps playing like this. He's not getting back in the team. I wouldn't put him back in the team because Jeffy's doing everything that we're looking for. See, when I was comparing him to Borna Barisic all night, and I was like, he does everything opposite what Borna does. Borna ran back way ball, Hefty runs forward way ball. Borna didn't tackle, Hefty tackles. Borna didn't pass forward, they passed sideways. Hefty passes the ball forward and breaks the lines. It's just such a refreshing thing to see for a left back. And I've still not made my mind up on Ridvan, right? I don't know if I ever will, but while we can probably get him money back, if Hefty keeps progressing like this, I would go with Hefty and Robbie Fraser at the end of the season and sell Ridvan the new if he was fit, but we'll see what happens. Right, Stevie, you're Philippe. Come on, you've got 3 days left, but you've got 3 signings you can make. What positions you going for?
I'd go for I'll try to get a right back. We've already covered it. I think we definitely need something there. Right back. We might have seen a number 10, but with Hadji News, we didn't need that. He's there. Let's use him. Centre back and a striker. Right back, centre back, striker. That'll be my 3.
No number 6 in midfield, no.
No, I think we've got enough. You know, with the guys we've got, Barron, Diamande, they can do it. Sterling can do it. I think central midfield is probably the one position where I don't feel that we need to add. I'm happy with what's there.
That's fair. What type of right back would you want? Would you want a carbon copy of Tav, or would you want somebody who can just defend?
Stole my line. That's what I was going to say. Aye, somebody, somebody who knows this, like the Scottish League, or it doesn't have to be Scottish, but just somebody who's really an all-rounder. Kind of Mr. Reliable. Somebody who can come in and fill in as and when. I don't think we get another Jeffy because, like I say, he's a cracking signing. But maybe we should be looking at somebody like that, because Tav isn't going to last forever. Probably should already gone, but somebody who's will defend, will fill in, because, like I say, I think there's enough in front of him. Even push Tav up. I'd love, like you're saying about interchanging. That's a great shout.
Aye.
To me, like, for so long I've wanted Tav to play right wing, especially at Parkhead. Just push him up, put somebody in behind him. So
What about your centre back? Do you want? I don't think John Souttar's good enough personally, right? I'm probably going to get some pelters in the comments for that, but I don't think he's any better than Connor Goldson, if I'm being honest. He's just as error prone. I would like somebody to come in and really grab that position, just like Barron has. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I would have loved us to get Scott McKenna. I think he would have been a really solid signing. Would have been perfect. Souttar, I think, again, we're going to see him really improve this season with Clermont pre-season. So I've got a lot of confidence that he was going to cut down on the errors. I think he'll have a really good season. He's got a bit more responsibility in that dressing room, and I think he'll see the best of him. But getting somebody else in, it's a pity we couldn't get Leon Balogun for 3 years ago, because when he came in, I know he's like 30, so he's still there, but he's just he's really injury prone now. It was such a good signing at the time.
In terms of pace, I don't think Balogun would have been any slower than what he is now. The guy's rapid, man.
Yeah, it's just his fitness. He's such a. I mean, you hear him talk as well. He comes across so well in interviews. He's a really smart guy. But just maybe somebody who's a bit more experienced. But obviously, Proper's a good signing. But I wouldn't mind one more just in there just to get a wee bit of cover, a bit more experience after losing Golston.
What was the other position you picked?
Striker.
All right, I'm ready for this. Who do you want?
Well, you can't
What type of striker do you want? What type of striker do you want?
Starts with L, ends in Orange Shankland. But we'll take him in January on a free. You know what I mean? He's going to sign on the 1st of January, day before we play Celtic at Ibrox. So that'll be the news. Lawrence is signing for Rangers. We can wait 5 months. But, again with that, what we've got in the bag, I don't really go to the top, but Dessers is improving. He's scoring every week. He looks much better conditioned. Danilo's starting to come into fitness. There's enough there. I still want one more because I'm a football fan. I'm greedy. Maybe a young Scottish guy, a young British guy, just to kind of beef up the numbers up front. But I think there's a lot of positivity in the squad just now, and I think it's quietly confident.
All right, cool. Deano, on to you, mate. 3 signings to make. What positions you going for? You're on mute. Before you
I know. It changes, and I'll tell you why. If Devine and King definitely go, then it changes, because the right back is important to me. So if they do leave, then right back, centre half, and a number 6.
Right. A right back, centre back, and a number 6 you're going for?
Aye. If King and Devine leave. If not, then a centre forward.
Tell me about your right back. What do you want to be like?
Somebody that can defend, and simple. I'm quite confident this season of our right wing, and as Cherny's area for the taking. McCausland's, as Stevie touched on earlier, McCausland is progressing pretty nicely and he's looking really good. So the right wing position for me doesn't need a right back going up and down as far as I'm concerned. So right back coming in that can defend and it's all right going forward. But I'm optimistic that our forward players are going to be good enough for us to create and score goals, and Hadji's ability to take set pieces with both feet negates the need for Tav's reliance of set pieces.
Fine, cool. Centre back, type of centre back. Do you want a ball playing defender, or do you want somebody who's just going to headbutt their striker in front of them?
Aye, that's what I want. Proper looks decent with the ball at his feet. He's 30, so we've got experience and former captain. We've got the leadership there. So somebody younger than him with a bit of hunger and bite, I want to see come in. We've got Balogun there for the experience as well. I don't really think we should be getting another centre half in that's experience. And I'm the same as you. I don't think Suter's good enough.
Cool. What about your number 6? Now this is a piece of the puzzle that can join it all together.
Well, aye. Number 6 has got to be the one that's that everything goes through from the back. Somebody that's going to be dictating, and somebody that's equally as good at breaking up play, winning second balls, running the game basically. The composer of the orchestra, as I like to say it.
Yep.
That's what I want. That's what I want. Somebody that's going to be in control of the team and in control of the game. That's able to I say this, but that's able to play a lengthy period of time for us and not get injured.
I take it John Lundstrom never done that for you last season, no?
You're asking rhetorically, aren't you?
I am in my laugh. Christ. Right, fair enough. My signings are probably going to be, I think there'll be a couple of loans done. A number 6, I think, is probably the most important signing that we need. I still think we need a 10, depending on what happens with Hadji and Cantwell and Lowry. I think 2 at the 4 will go. I think probably Hadji and Cantwell and Lowry will go. And I think we'll be left by Hadji and Lawrence. Still think we need a 10. But I would like a 10 to be able to play across the front 3. Morgan Whittaker would probably be mine. We've been linked with him, linked to putting a bid in. We've not made a marquee signing so far this season. We're properly getting this squad and the quality has come down in it. I think if it's possible to get Morgan Whittaker over the line, you go and do it, and you do it whatever you need to do, just do it. I think he's an absolute must if it's possible. Striker, I'm probably going to hold off on with how Dessers has started the season. Igaman's still there. I'm looking forward to seeing him. A number 6, I suppose, needs to be somebody in of the way that Barry Ferguson used to be able to dictate a midfield.
That was what I was saying.
Or Stephen Davis. They knew when to go left and right. They knew when to go forward, etc., etc. Orchestrator, as you say, Deano. Still need another centre half. I want a Carlos Quella, Majid Bugera quality type player, somebody that can come in there and stand out. Just feel as if that Suter's too injury prone, error prone as well as injury prone. He's not been injured in the last couple of years, but I would like somebody to be able to come in and be the leader, so to speak. I'm not saying Suter can't maybe grow into that. He probably can, but I think we need it. We need somebody that can come in and set a tone at the back, tell Tavernier when to stay and when to go, which is a bit already saying that, but it's true. And that would probably be mine. I would be happy with a 6 or centre back and a 10. But it's all up for debate, and it's I like this time of year, man. I like a transfer window. I like seeing all the rumours. I'm buzzing that Scott Wright's about to go. Todd Cantwell's linked with Blackburn. Hopefully he gets his backside out the door. Alec Lowry, Lovelace has been linked to a loan move. I would only want to see that if he signs a new deal.
Yeah.
Because he's in his last year. Otherwise, just keep him. Keep him and play him and see how he fares. He's still an option at right wing, left wing, centre forward. They can really play anywhere. Jamie's come in a centre back, CDM, Nakam. Kind of got to agree. So I think that'll wrap us up for a night, lads. Stevie, you get any kind of final thoughts you want to speak about?
I mean, I'm delighted about the Hadji news. That's a real boost if he stays also, if he stays, he's a number 10. I put Diamande back to number 6. He's got the talent. Just needs to be a bit more precise with his passing. So, yeah, lots of good stuff. And obviously, it's Old Firm week, so bring it on.
Paul's wanting a CEO brought in before the transfer window shuts. Deano, over to you, mate.
Looking forward to the transfer window closing and the squad being, well, formed until January, so we know what we've got. So this sort of like element of doubt is just no good for my anxiety. So I just want to overeat, to be quite honest with you, to then find somebody comes and be like, okay, this is what we've got to play against them. So just hope that the guys can actually get the best deals for us and the best players in. And we've just got to really, really hang our hopes on the squad being able to compete. But looking forward to it closing, to be quite honest with you, mate.
I know, mate. I know. I'm not. I'd love Friday for like the rest of my life, man. I love deadline day and that. It's class. See if I had the cojones, man, I'd be sitting here with a yellow tie and that on Friday night, but I'm not doing it. It's too much already. What is? Far too much already. Quick one. Stevie, Lennon Miller for Motherwell, would you take him? If Scott Wright's going to go, we need a Scottish boy to come in.
I'll go pick him up right now, mate. In a heartbeat, I'd take him. Absolutely. Yeah, brilliant signing for Rangers. I'd be delighted to do that.
His dad cuts Kai's hairdo, so I've texted Kai telling him to go for a haircut the next couple of days and find out, man. Dino, what about you, Lennon Miller?
I've quoted him on here as being a generational talent for me. So, no brainer. As I said earlier on, Scott Wright goes, there is going to be that that void needing filled, and he definitely fills it.
That's it.
And he's a massive upgrade on Scott Wright. So, a no-brainer for me.
I've got plenty of encouragement about a yellow tie, but it's not happening, I'm afraid. So a deadline day transfer show will be starting at 7:30. The Old Firm previews at 6:30 to about 7:20. And then Billy's me, Doug, I think Willie Elvin, Kai's on for a first tour. Then Kevin Thompson's going to join us at some point. It will be live till the deadline shuts, probably. I think the deadline shuts at 11 o'clock, so we'll probably be on it about 11:30. We're going to have profiles of players that were linked to it on the day. I'm going to try and find out what the copyright is on YouTube and potentially bring up some YouTube clips as well. If there's a guy linked or it's a move close, then we're going to do a deep dive into any links we get. Really going to try and keep this a bit different. So that's there. It's probably going to be a 5-6 hour pod. So please please subscribe. Keep motivating us to keep making this channel the best as we possibly can. Apart from that, Stevie, thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having me, and thanks to everybody for contributing. It's been great fun.
Dino, thanks again. I'll see you Sunday, my man.
Hi, see you Sunday, mate. Hey, thanks for having me on. Pleasure and privilege as always, and thanks to all of our viewers from everywhere tuning in.
Right, apart from that leaves me to say we'll be back tomorrow night at 8:30. The guys are going to look at what Rangers can do to adopt a kind of transfer or club model for the likes of Borussia Dortmund, Club Brugge. We're going to look at different clubs and see how they're run and compare them to Rangers and look at what we could potentially do. The guys are aware they're studying their clubs just now. I think that's Kai, Doug, and it's going to be hosted by Gareth the first time tomorrow night. So that's going to be a really, really interesting topic to get tore into. It's not so much about transfers, it's much more about how the club's been running, how they're operating, and how Rangers could take some of them ideas and really improve on them. So that'll be live at 8:30 tomorrow night. We've got a Ross County post-match analysis for last night. That was done at 6:30. That's on. Please go and check that out. There's the Ross County post-match reaction that was up on Saturday. There's hundreds and hundreds of content. So please please subscribe. And remember, every night is Rangers Journal night.